British Prime Minister Boris Johnson is facing a difficult decision on whether to reopen the country on June 21st. That is the day Johnson's government said people could look forward to a lifting of all limits on social contacts. The UK started easing lockdown restrictions in mid-April, but a coronavirus variant known as Delta has put further reopening on hold as cases of the mutation sharply rise. Delta was first identified in India. It is now the dominant strain among the average 5,000 daily cases being reported in Britain. And DW's Charlotte Chelsom-Pillow is following the story for us from London. Hi, Charlotte. Good to see you. Tell us about the Delta variant and why it has been spreading through the country so quickly.
Well, the latest information that we have here is this Delta variant, first identified in India, is roughly 40% more transmissible than the variant that was previously dominant here in the UK, the so-called Alpha variant, or the variant first identified here in the UK in Kent. And that is indeed causing a rise in cases. That is, though, combined with the fact that the UK has gradually been easing restrictions. So what you're seeing is those two things in tandem, a variant that is more transmissible, just as social contact is starting to increase here in the UK. And just to give you a sense in those rising cases, if you're looking at the data reported yesterday, there were some 6,048 cases reported within a 24-hour period. That's up 2,883 on the same day last week. So having had a dramatic decrease in cases throughout the course of the year from that very big surge around the start of the year, you are now starting to see an uptick in cases. What that isn't yet being followed by is a big surge in hospitalizations, but we know that there is always a lag between the reported case rise data and those hospitalizations. So that key bit of information is what authorities here are going to be looking at very closely.
Yeah, what does this mean for Prime Minister Boris Johnson and his government's plans to lift all restrictions on June 21st?
Well, first of all, just important to point out that the government is really focusing its efforts on a surge in testing in hotspot areas, particularly in the northwest of England. They're doing door-to-door testing. They're sending in military support as well to help with that. They're following a model that they used in Bolton, also in the north of England, which did see a big surge of the India Delta variants. They're really focusing their efforts to try and cut those cases down with an aim to continue to ease the final set of restrictions on June 21st. They're also putting all efforts into the UK's vaccination campaign here. And we know that some 75% of the UK has had at least one dose. But the concern with this variant in particular is that it's not just one dose isn't as effective as it would have been against the Alpha variant. So that is why there is a real push to increase second doses. But there remains a huge question at the moment about that June 21st date. A lot of voices on both sides of the argument. Scientists here warning that that rise in cases does suggest that we could be heading for a third wave in the UK. They are calling for, at the very least, a delay for the easing of restrictions. But then you have those voices from business leaders saying that the uncertainty simply isn't good enough and that easing restrictions must go ahead.
Charlotte Chelsom-Pillow reporting there from London. Good to talk to you.